That's right, another review, and it's for How to Train Your Dragon 2! Wow. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is the sequel to How to Train Your Dragon, the smash hit in 2010 that everybody loved. And this time it follows Hiccup, and everybody in his town has accepted dragons. They live and coexist together. And one day he's off flying around with Toothless, and they come across this place that is hunting dragons, and there's this guy who wants to just have this dragon army, so they kind of have to stop that. Going into How to Train Your Dragon 2, I was fairly excited because the first How to Train Your Dragon, I enjoyed it. I don't like to use the word overrated, but I didn't feel as strongly about it as most people did. I still thought it was a good movie, it was enjoyable. And the trailers for this one, they spoiled some things, and I figured the movie would have a bigger emotional punch, I would hope at least. I was hoping that it would just improve upon the first one, and to be honest, I thought this movie was just about as good as the first one. It's still enjoyable, and I feel like a lot of people are just gonna be completely in love with it. I thought it was good, and the voice acting in the movie is really good. Jay Baruchel is a very good voice actor from these two movies that I've seen him in. He does a good job with the character. This movie has a really great voice cast. I mean, you have like Jonah Hill, you have McLovin, you have Gerard Butler, you have Cate Blanchett, Djimon Hounsou. It's a great cast. And everybody does a great job in the movie. There's some really well-delivered lines. And the animation in this movie is just breathtaking. It is some of the best animation I've ever seen. It just looks so good, especially in 3D. I got to see the movie in 3D, and it just looked amazing. It was very surreal, and it pulled you right into the movie. All the CGI, again, it is perfect. And I really like the design of the dragons in these movies. They all look so unique. There's not too many that look a lot like each other. They all have unique looks to them, and it's really cool to see that. And this movie, there's even more of that than it was in the first movie. Like, there's these giant dragons in there too, and it's really cool. The overarching story for this movie, it's a little bit basic, and it's stuff you've kind of seen before, but there is a twist in there that I talked about before that is in the trailers, and if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to reveal it, but there's a twist in there that I thought would have been really hard-hitting if I hadn't seen it in the trailers, so that took away somewhat of the impact of it. It was still fairly impactful in the movie, and the story overall, it's just, I mean, the villain is the thing I have a problem with because he's just kind of there for a few scenes and that's it. They don't flesh out the character much at all. They talk about in a few little snippets of dialogue, they give him a little backstory. They gave him the minimal amount of backstory you can give to a villain so you can sort of see where he's coming from, but at the same time he's still just kind of evil because he's evil. And that part bugged me. And the movie itself is fairly predictable in what it's doing. I could predict, oh, is that going to happen to that person yet? And there they go. And just, oh, and that's how that story's going to go. And oh, look, that little thing's happening. And it's just, it doesn't detract too much from my overall enjoyment, but I would have liked to see a couple twists thrown in there. And like I said, there would have been a great twist in there if I hadn't known about it in the trailers. There's some really funny moments in the movie. There's a couple of them sprinkled in there. It's not as comedic as I thought. This movie is fairly serious overall, and I don't mind that. I was expecting a little bit more comedy in it. These How to Train Your Dragon movies, I feel like I don't connect as much with the lead as most people do, so I just don't love them as much as most people do. But I still think they're good movies. They're definitely enjoyable for kids and adults alike. It's a fun movie to watch. The animation is amazing. The voice cast is really great. And there's some action sequences in there too, I didn't talk about that, but with the dragons and just there's a wide epic scale to it and it feels really big, and that was really cool. When they had action in the movie, it felt like there was some weight behind it, and I really like that. I feel like a lot of people are gonna love this movie, and that's fine. Just for me, it was not the best animated movie I've ever seen, so I'm gonna give it a B. If you have kids, go check it out. If you love the first one, go check it out. Even if you just like animated movies, I would still say watch this movie, because it's good. I just don't think it's great. So what did you guys think of How to Train Your Dragon 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? How did you feel about this one compared to the first one? Like I said, it's about equal, and I just realized that on June 13th, 22 Jump Street also comes out, and I felt like that movie was equal to its predecessor, so you have movies equal to their predecessors coming out that day. So write your beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'll take all the dragons and they'll kill me.